¿Sí? Empieza. Sí.
Bueno, lo primero, buenas tardes a todos y muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy. Yo soy Nerea Torrijos, figurinista, miembro de la Academia de Cine y miembro de la Asociación de Artistas Plásticos y Escenógrafos del Audiovisual, la APE.
Y yo soy Elda Noriega, diseñadora de vestuario y representante de la APE en este encuentro. Bueno, como hemos dicho antes, muy brevemente, os damos la bienvenida a esta mesa redonda. Para nosotros hoy es un día súper especial porque se celebra la segunda edición de los premios Yvonne Blake de vestuario. Y recordemos que la APE es la Asociación de Artistas Plásticos, Escénicos y Audiovisuales de España, que lanzó el año pasado con mucho entusiasmo la primera edición de los premios Yvonne Blake.
Que fueron increíbles.
Que fueron increíbles y que es un reconocimiento a nivel internacional para dar visibilidad, prestigio y proyección a este oficio que tenemos, que es una profesión esencial para la construcción de las artes escénicas y audiovisuales. Este año, además, la Academia de Cine nos arropa dándonos este espacio y nos da la oportunidad de recibir a los invitados que vendrán a continuación, que son muy especiales porque son los grandes protagonistas de la gala.
Durante esta próxima hora vamos a conversar con ellos. Son los finalistas y nominados a los premios Yvonne Blake al mejor vestuario de película extranjera. Y aparte contaremos con una invitada de honor, legendaria en nuestra industria.
Acabamos de ver los tráileres de las pelis finalistas y vamos a conocer a sus responsables. En primer lugar, Susana Abreu, diseñadora de vestuario en Portugal. Susana.
Un aplauso para Susana, chicos. Hola.
Susana nos ha dicho que habla un poquito de español. Esa Susana, por favor. Ella es la creadora del vestuario del peor hombre del mundo. Es el último de los 3 tráilers que acabamos de ver. Y es una reinterpretación del Londres victoriano del siglo XIX, pero con una estética punk y una meticulosa reconstrucción de los personajes a través del vestuario.
Nuestra siguiente invitada, desde los Países Bajos, es Linda Bogers, diseñadora de Broken Patterns, que es un drama contemporáneo sobre la identidad y la familia, donde el vestuario se convierte en un lenguaje emocional. Un aplauso para ella.
Desde Italia nos acompaña Carlo Poccioli, finalista por Parténope. Adelante, Carlo, bienvenido. Que se cayó. Parténope es la última obra de Paolo Sorrentino, con su habitual mirada poética y una elegancia visual impresionante. Carlo, además, es representante y presidente de la ASC, la asociación que representa a los diseñadores de vestuario y otros artistas plásticos en Italia.
Y para cerrar nuestra presentación, tenemos el honor de contar con una figura fundamental en la industria del cine, nuestra compañera Jenny Vivan. Un aplauso para ella. Sus logros incluyen 12 nominaciones a los Oscar con 3 victorias, más de 10 nominaciones a los BAFTA con 4 galardones. Y nuestra invitada es una artesana, una historiadora y una rebelde. Su trabajo no solo es vestir a un personaje, construye desde la sastrería meticulosa de la época eduardiana hasta el caos post-apocalíptico. Bienvenidos a todos, chicos. Welcome. Os voy a hablar un poquito de los hitos de Jenny, ¿vale? El primero fue con Merchant Ivory, definiendo el drama de una época. Su estética inicial se basó en una meticulosa devoción por el detalle histórico. En A Room with a View, del 86, le valió su primer premio de la Academia. Demostró una gran versatilidad con un giro estético monumental. Su segundo gran hito fue la obra post-apocalíptica Mad Max, Fury Road, que todos conocemos. En esta película construyó armaduras de supervivencia, entre otras cosas maravillosas, porque el vestuario es acojonante, y ganó su segundo Oscar. Gosford Park fue clave para su estética de vestuario social complejo, dándole un BAFTA, y su trabajo más reciente, Cruella, es pura anarquía punk rock. Cruella le brindó su tercer y más reciente Oscar.
No sé si va. Compañeros, ¿podemos poner el reel de Jenny? Gracias.
So, let's begin.
What have you done? What a lovely day!
Hello?
Easy.
Thank you. El agua es nuestra.
To love is to burn, to be on fire.
We're going home.
How horrid.
Don't move. We may be hunted like animals, but we will not become animals. Everything is all right.
Hello, boys.
You'll conquer death!
It's a sign.
There is no hope! What?
Jenny, lo primero que queremos es agradecerte. Es un honor para todos nosotros tenerte aquí esta tarde. Amantes del cine y compañeros de vestuario, gente que empieza, gente que ya trabaja. Sentimos mucha admiración por tu carrera, al igual que la de los demás compañeros, y sobre todo por tu actitud ante la profesión. En tu carrera has sido siempre muy meticulosa y auténtica. Has hecho cosas desde época hasta cosas con una anarquía total, ¿no? Con mucha libertad. En términos de proceso, ¿qué es más desafiante para ti? ¿Dominar la invisibilidad histórica o diseñar un mundo posapocalíptico desde cero?
The most, well, I think challenging was Mad Max because I was way out of my comfort zone. But in the end, it's just storytelling. So I just read the script and tell that story. And then it becomes relatively easy is the wrong word, but clear as to which direction to go in. But in all the films you've just seen, the thing I have had such support from is my crew. And I think that's something one should recognise as a costume designer, the incredible importance of the people around you. And some of them don't want to be costume designers because it's quite, you do a lot of PR, a lot of negotiation, a lot of troubleshooting, as well as designing. So that's fine. I mean, I would say to anyone here, don't absolutely, you know, if you don't become a costume designer, there's lots of things to do within the industry that you may well enjoy more, but I have been, as I said, supported 100% by my incredible cutters, makers, sewers, organisers, supervisors, you name it, dyers, painters, I've probably forgotten, key costumers, you know, all that. So that's just amazing.
Exacto. ¿Y qué personaje de tu carrera perdón, recopila mejor todo aquello que te hace disfrutar a la hora de diseñar en tu profesión?
Honestly, sometimes I don't enjoy it. It's like, rah. I mean, almost every project's like climbing Everest. But I think, like, I did this tiny film last year in England on a minute budget, probably less than our catering budget on Furiosa. And the joy in doing that with an incredible director, an incredible script. It's called The Choral. I'm just doing a little advertising. Came out in England, it's doing quite well. Hasn't got here yet. And it was such joy to be with such an amazing, I mean, the cast, the crew, led by our director, Nick Heitner, who used to run the National Theatre. It was scripted by Alan Bennett, one of our greatest playwrights. And that was, I think that was probably the most enjoyable. Was that the question?
La cuestión,
I went off on a tangent.
la pregunta era, ¿qué personaje de tu carrera recopila mejor todo aquello que te hace disfrutar a la hora de diseñar y de tu profesión? Un personaje especial que tengas una memoria, un recuerdo que te haya hecho sentirte bien a la hora de diseñarlo.
Oh, Lord. So many. I can't possibly come down to one, sorry.
Okay.
So I did a better answer, actually.
¿Continúo yo?
Sí.
Carlo, querido, los amantes del cine de Sorrentino no podemos dejar de advertir el valor inigualable del diseño de vestuario en sus obras. Nos preguntamos hasta qué punto eres tú y tu vestuario los responsables de la elegancia, la belleza en estado puro y la sensualidad nostálgica con las que se define su obra. ¿Podrías hablarnos de tu colaboración con Sorrentino en Parténope?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working with Sorrentino for many, many years. It's more than 13 years, I think. And it's always a new adventure. But I'm lucky because when Paolo writes the story, it's so specific also about the costumes. So it's more easy. It helps me to understand the character, even if we fight a lot, because he thinks one thing, and you know my first thing is to help him to understand. Like always, I mean, all of us, we need to help the director to understand the characters. We need to help the actor, especially when they come for the first fitting, to understand what they have to do. But many of the actors, for example, they understand the character just when they come to do the first fitting. Yeah, you know, it helps a lot. I mean, we are also, because we are not only costume designer, but we are psychologists.
We are mind readers.
Sometimes psychiatric. Yeah, what do you think, Jenny?
Therapists.
Yeah, we have to fight sometime with them. But, you know, it's the process that we need to do to make the film well, to make it understand the actor and the director what we're doing. So with Paolo, as I said, it's quite easy because he has clear ideas. But, he takes care also about the last extras that goes on scene. So he takes care about the earring, about the shoes, about the tie. So it's very, very, let's say, obsessed about it. But I love to work with him for that reason, because many directors, they don't care about the extras around, you know?
Yeah.
With Paolo, you have to take care about everything. So that is the things that I love to work with him. The last experience for me was good. I mean, it was very interesting because I had a collaboration of Anthony Vaccarello from Saint Laurent. And Anthony Vaccarello, he co-produced the film, but also he made a lot of costume for the main cast. So that was interesting for me because also, even if before I worked with Armani, I worked with other very famous fashion now. But with Anthony it was special because he was making the costumes. I mean, we never used something from the archive. Everything was new made. And so I was in Paris many times, and because of course we had to do the fitting there. And after the team, the nice thing is that he made a team for Partenope, and he was sending his people to Rome for the fitting, to Naples when we were in Naples. And he made, I mean, we were discussing all the time with Paul and him how to do the character, and they created everything new. I mean, and still, I mean, also they printed the fabric. For example, for the 70s, for the period of the 70s, I was sending to them the design, the pattern that I loved, and after 2 days they were making the fabric. Yeah, so it's unbelievable. So that was a very beautiful experience for me.
Es un privilegio, la verdad.
Yeah.
También es un presupuesto.
Yeah.
Pero
No, you know, it's the things that made, you know, sometimes fashion and costumes together. That is not easy, really. But we know that from the beginning, I mean, from the 30s, the 40s, that the fashion was working with the costumes, or the opposite. So we know that in America, for example, when they did Women of Cukor, we know that Adrian, that was there, that he created all the costumes. So for the production was a big business, because before the film was ready, they already made 1 million copies of the costumes that the actors that were wearing. And sometimes they made more money with the costumes that you could see in the film and everybody wants to go to buy than the tickets sold. And we have seen many times this process. So who will not remember, you know, Breakfast at Tiffany? So when Audrey Hepburn was wearing that dress that was made 1 million copies all around the world. So, and that was the occasion, I mean, to say again that sometimes fashion and costumes, they can work very well together.
interesante.
Continúo. Querida Linda, tu trabajo en Tegendrats es exquisito. Son muchos los desafíos narrativos que enfrenta. El choque generacional, el choque entre holandeses e inmigrantes, la conquista de la libertad de la protagonista. Todo ello transcurre en los años 60. ¿Cómo logras combinar el realismo social de una época con un relato tan íntimo y tan nostálgico?
The translation. Yeah. So your work in Tegendraht is exquisite. There are many, many challenges to deal with. Also the generational shock in between them, the shocking relationship between the Dutch and the immigrants, and the conquer of liberty from the main character. Everything goes on during the 60s. How do you combine the social realism with a very intimate story and a very nostalgic, you know?
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you merge all those things?
Actually, I think it goes in stages. Since this is a real story, a historic event that happened in Holland, that was really quite shocking. It was the first war between newcomers, immigrants, and the regular Dutch who lived there. And it had an economic side as well. They were so afraid of their jobs and their houses. And so there was really street fighting in the hundreds of people. And you cannot ignore it. You have to start with that. What are there photographs? Is there any kind of video? And from there, of course, you read the script and you see the characters. So you try to.
They need to hear.
Yes. Sorry, speaking with my hands. So you've tried to find the characters in the photographs, if they are there, if they are close, if they are not completely there, and then you slowly, actually it merges, but also it diverges. Because in the end, the main characters are the most important. You tell your story mainly through them. And then in the end, actually also your extras have to adapt in looks because you want to keep it in one world. And it's at least so long ago, it was exactly 1960, that we have a vague idea what it looked like. Our mothers were grown-ups in that time, but not more than that. And so if you keep the contours, but you adapt the fabrics a bit, or the colors in general, we knew that the main events were taking place always in the dark. So we had to had extreme tests of colors, what kind of light, what kind of fabric, what kind of texture, etc., before we chose even to make anything for the actors. And so it's actually a complicated answer. It comes from different side, and it develops in the end into a sort of feeling like this is the position between reality and what people like from the audience and what is appropriate if you want to help the story along. And I don't know how to be more specific, actually.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah. It's actually, I want to say something. What Paulo said was, can I just continue on a little
Yes,
bit?
yes, yes.
Paulo said, so your director was extremely interested also in dressing the extras as well as the actors, completely a world around you that was, coherent and etc. I come from a small country with a tiny, tiny film industry and zero budget generally. And I've heard too much the sentence, "Oh, we don't see that." And then my usual answer is, you know what? I have a very good idea. I'm going home. If you don't see it, you can save a lot of money if I'm not there. That's what I wanted to tell.
Y es importante. Susana,
Yeah.
tu mirada personal sobre el personaje de Charles August Howell en El peor hombre de Londres y tu audacia en la elección de la gama cromática y las texturas logran transportarnos al Londres victoriano del siglo XIX. Como diseñadora portuguesa contando una historia británica, nos gustaría que nos hicieras una reflexión sobre la versatilidad del vestuario en el cine europeo y tu experiencia en este trabajo. ¿Crees que hay elementos culturales que diferencian a unos diseñadores de otros?
Pues que...
Fácil, ¿eh?
Sí, o sea, cada quien tiene una visión, creo. No sé si es mejor hablar en español o...
Como estés más cómoda.
Ya no sé.
Si prefieres responder en inglés.
Sí, en
no pasa
inglés.
nada.
Tal vez cambie, no sé, vamos a ver. Pero, o sea, yo creo que siempre tienes una visión muy tuya cuando, o sea, empiezas por leer un guión y empiezas a ver los personajes, o sea, quién son estas personas, y después hay también un trabajo con los otros, o sea, todos los departamentos, lo director de fotografía, lo director y demás. También vas trabajando con los actores también. Y eso también, o sea, de mi experiencia, muchas veces trabajas con directores que no te dan mucho espacio. Este director a mí me dio mucho espacio. También empecé a trabajar en cine con él. Es mi marido.
Un dato importante.
O sea, pero porque por veces, no sé si pasa con vosotros, pero muchas veces somos muy felices porque con los directores que no te dejan como hacer más, o sea, porque quieren siempre algo que a ti no te gusta y es muy...
Que no es tu visión completa.
Sí, sí, eso es, o sea, por eso en las películas no es que sea solo un trabajo tuyo,
este es un trabajo mío, pero también de un equipo que estuve ahí a escoger los colores, todo fue mucho trabajado y también porque tuvimos mucho tiempo. O sea, fue en una altura de pandemia que estuvimos trabajando, el filme se fue retrasando y también porque tuve que comprar todo el productor me dijo, tienes que comprar todo muy rápido porque vamos haciendo las cosas y para que todos estuvieran trabajando. Y fue una cosa, también fueron decisiones muy rápidas, pero en la verdad tuve tiempo. Y eso también creo que cuando tienes tiempo para hacer tu trabajo, o sea, es una cosa cuando no tienes tiempo y cuando hay un tiempo que te ayuda a pensar lo que quieres. No sé si he respondido.
Sí. Y sobre todo que das espacio a tu propia propuesta.
Al mismo tiempo, también no es que, en Portugal también no es que haya mucho dinero para cine.
Pero aquí tampoco, la frase siempre es, esta peli es una peli pequeña.
O sea...
Siempre.
O sea, esto es... Yo vengo de la moda, yo estudié moda y después me cambié para cine, o sea, porque conocí a mi marido actual. O sea, y ahí yo descubrí que es muy divertido hacer cine, porque tú no estás siempre haciendo las mismas cosas, siempre estás haciendo diferentes cosas de época, de futurista, puedes hacer cosas actuales, o sea, eso es muy creativo, que puedes hacer, puedes estar en una cosa, muchas veces estaba en una como biblioteca, no sé cómo... Biblioteca. Estás estudiando todo que pasó en la historia, como son los zapatos, todo, o sea, cosas detallistas que quieres, o otras veces es solo tu cabeza que te lleva a donde quieras. O sea, esta película era mucho sobre los pre-rafaelistas y también yo quería ser muy realista, o sea, cómo se vestían esas mujeres, esos hombres. Ha leído algunos libros y quise ser muy...
Fiel.
Sí,
¿no?
bueno, creo.
A la realidad.
Sí, creo que es eso.
Voy a tirarte una pregunta.
Sí.
Vale, ahora vamos a hacer como una ronda de preguntas para que vayamos comentando. Quien quiera puede comentar. Os vamos a hacer preguntas. Y la primera es, ¿cuáles son los desafíos actuales de los diseñadores de vestuario? ¿Cuál creéis que es nuestra responsabilidad como diseñadores para poner en valor en esta profesión, sobre todo para la gente que empieza, ¿no? ¿Encontráis necesario el trabajo en asociaciones que representen los intereses de nuestro colectivo?
I'm split on the union thing because I come from a long time ago. I'm very old. And I was kept out by the union. What there was of it in England. I couldn't even call myself a designer. And it was run by these, I'll be really honest, older men. It was all very much like a mafia. They all got their friends involved and they hated me because I was young and, you know, obviously they didn't think I had a clue what I was doing, but basically they were lazy too. And I always felt that was sort of my view of unions. Recently, of course, I've joined the Costume Designers Guild of America because I was helping with the whole thing of, I had an issue on Cruella with Disney, and they were incredibly supportive. And I'm still employed by Disney, so I play it quite carefully. But I think they got the point that there was a lot of disrespect from the studio. And what you said about them making a lot more money out of... So I think for young designers, it's massively challenging. I seriously think they're probably best to start, in England anyhow, in a costume design school. They will be put out as interns or whatever, in work experience, into actual films so they can see how it works for real. That's very hard to do on your own. They'll get to meet other people. I think Warner Brothers do something at Leavesden that helps young designers. I mean, there are all sorts of ways, but it's very tough out there at the moment. Budgets are very small. Studios expect you to do it at top speed without any idea what you're up to. It's something I love doing, and I've been very lucky. I mean, all the films you saw, incredibly lucky to have done them, and I'm still lucky. But I'm honestly not sure I'd recommend it to anyone these days. But if you're passionate, do it, and you will get there. But I honestly, I think, and the union thing, I mean, in LA, I think that's probably one of their major problems, is the strength of the union. Again, don't quote me on any of this, but it's my feeling, because it's so expensive to make a film in LA. Why would you? I mean, I've done a little bit there, under the radar, really, but I was just shocked by the way they work and the amount of money, in my experience, wasted. And the way we do stuff on our low-budget merchandisers and whatever, you know, you just make the most of what you've got and make it stretch, which I did on the choral. And, you know, it's a challenge. But I've still loved doing it. And I'll do it till I stop loving it, and then I'll go and be a gardener or a conductor. That's my other great passion. Baroque music, always.
Okay. So I believe in this moment, I mean, first of all, I don't know if you know that I'm the president of the ISSC, that is the Association of Set Designer, Costume Designer, and set decorator in Italy. And also we are attached at Arsenico, that AP is a part of Arsenico. Because we are trying to make in Europe a kind of European federation, that is the name of Arsenico, to try to have the same rules, more or less, in each of our countries in Europe. That is not easy. We know that it's not easy. It's not easy also in Italy. In this moment, the government cut a lot of money for the money for the cinema. So they cut a lot. So we are in big crisis, really. There are some people that they are not working for a long time. So, and now it looks like that is going a little better anyway, because with the international production, they're coming back to Italy to work. So in fact, now we have Mel Gibson shooting in Italy. I'm doing a Netflix series, a huge Netflix series, till next year. So it looks like they start again. But I believe that we must stay all together. It's very important, but it's very important for not only for our job, for the cinema, but for the culture in general. So we have to defend these things because we believe that the cinema is a part of to have new young people ready and prepared, not only for the cinema stuff, but for the life. So, and we know that the cinema helps a lot to think and to change the people. I believe a lot on that. So that is the reason that we have to stay with the same things. We have to stay uniti, okay, and try to avoid something that is going to happen, for example, also about the money, about the payment. So they are getting lower and lower and lower. So they're asking, I have always, as a president of the ASECI, I have always phone calls every day because the people are saying they're not paying or they don't give us the possibility to work well. They, for example, sometimes they work like 15 hours a day, and the next day you have only 6 hours to go to sleep. And this is, we cannot allow them to do this. So, and I think that it's important to have a union. So like we are trying to do also with Arsenico would be, the best things would be an European union. So, but I know that it's quite difficult, but we believe in that and we have to go ahead in that, especially for the young people, you know, because for me, I mean, I think probably for Jenny, so we have done what we have done. But I believe that we must help the young people that are the future of our cinema to be ready to be ready to, also to start to talk, to know how to talk with the producer, to explain them why you need that, why you need more people, why you need more money. So, and sometimes they don't care, but we must build something for all of us that we need to have our shoulder with more power. So, and that is important that our students, for example, in Italy, when we teach, how to do the costume, how to organize the department, but also we teach them how to afford and to meet production. Because our problem is production and producer that they do not understand. Probably, as Jenny said, probably we have been lucky that I met most of my life. I mean, let's say 80% of my film, people that they understood the problems. But sometimes, especially the young producer, they don't understand why you need that. So they don't care at all. So, and that is the reason that I believe that the union is important.
Y luego voy a hacer Creo que es importante también que la gente joven que empieza en la industria, aparte de saber todo esto, comunicarse con un productor, cómo se trabaja, porque las escuelas nos enseñan cómo se trabaja. Creo que luego hay una falta de información que los que estamos ya en otro lugar deberíamos enseñarles, ¿no? Pues cuánto debe cobrar en cada puesto de trabajo. O sea, información práctica para que la industria no se haga cada vez más grande a costa nuestra. Y creo que eso se puede hacer estando unidos también.
Yeah, in fact, no, it's very, very important. We must try. Also, I believe in Arsenico because I think that we can do all together. That's important. I don't want that, we have different treatment in Italy and a different treatment in Germany or different in France. We work in all the same way, so we must be treated all the same way.
Tendría que haber un poco como de unificación, también hablábamos, igual que decía Nerea, de que se cobra, o sea, que haya más oportunidades, pero en facetas que no son solo presupuesto, no sé qué, sino cómo tratar con tu equipo, cómo se respeta a la gente, cómo trabajar con gente de otros países.
Y cómo no tratar a tu equipo.
Y cómo no tratar a tu equipo, cómo crear redes de trabajo, que son siempre súper potentes, no dejas de aprender de nadie. En fin, una serie de cosas que no están como en los manuales, pero que son de puro sentido común y que la unión hace la fuerza. Quiero decir, cuanto más nos protejamos entre nosotros, desde temas de derechos de autor a, yo qué sé, hay 1 millón de cosas que están todavía por Linda. Que siempre podemos aprender de otras asociaciones en otros sitios, nutrirnos, en definitiva, ¿no? Y tener precedentes en los que apoyar por qué estamos haciendo esto o lo otro. Sí.
I think what we do have to remember is it's a balancing act. And I think if we're too strong or make too many demands, it will never work. And that we are an industry that does horrible hours just because, but it doesn't mean you have to do dangerous hours, like you said. We should not do the 6-hour turnaround thing. Absolutely. And normally now they do some kind of, but it's not something you can actually regulise like an office job or something. And, it's hopeless for families. Most of us never stay together, whatever, because you're always working ridiculous hours in funny countries. And it's just getting some balance. And every job is so different. Every situation is so different. I mean, think of, the weird things I've done, from the choral in Yorkshire for 6 weeks on diddly squat to thing I'm doing at the moment, which is 200 million. I mean, and ridiculous world of fantasy from a tiny little Yorkshire mill town. So it's very, very hard to say this is what it should be. And even, I work sometimes for a small fee, and obviously on a studio production, much more. But that's how it goes. It's a balancing act. It's my favourite word at the moment. Balance.
¿Cómo vamos de tiempo? Bien. queríamos lanzaros también a todos una pregunta que tiene que ver con el ritmo frenético de las plataformas de ahora. Y la pregunta sería, el auge de las series de alta gama y temporadas largas, con sus calendarios de producción acelerados, ¿ha forzado a los diseñadores a sacrificar la artesanía o la calidad a favor de la velocidad de entrega? ¿Y cómo afecta esta nueva visión al vestuario en las películas en comparación con las series? Sé que son dos preguntas, venían en el mismo bloque. Yo añado, si en la parte que tiene que ver con sacrificar la artesanía, la calidad, el mundo de los oficios. A mí me gusta mucho sacar este tema siempre. Los artesanos, los bordadores, yo qué sé, trabajo en cuero, o sea, pequeños detalles que muchas veces hacen la diferencia y que se están perdiendo por las velocidades o porque van muriendo esas profesiones. Estaría relacionado también con esto. Se va perdiendo por la velocidad de producción y la demanda de todas las series y películas que se tienen que producir muy rápidamente.
I haven't done a very long TV series, so I've only done Cranford, which was, I think, 5 episodes and then 3 episodes or something. That's the longest, and that was done on no money whatsoever. But dear Cosprop, the costume house, saved me as usual. So I don't know, but I mean, generally, although I'm amazed by the skills here in Spain, at Paris, at Cornejo, the real incredible skills in the leather workshop and everything, you know, there's a lot of skills still around. And as for this computer embroidery, it can be beautiful if it's done with sensitivity. And I mean, no one can do this, you know. Well, Sans films can, but it's... So I don't really know. I mean, but we should celebrate and keep crafts as much as possible, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's so good. I mean, it's such a lovely thing. I'm quite a good hand sewer, and I just love doing a nice long hem. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Can I just say, maybe in combination with my Portuguese colleague, about movie making in the very small countries, which is, I can hear you, I can recognize what you're saying, but sorry, with us, we've had a right-wing government now for 20 years, and the budgets went almost to the floor. There is no interest in art whatsoever in Holland, except if it makes money. And so that means that the movie industry is desperate, basically desperate. We make movies on a shoestring, and we, at this moment, it's not only the budget that we have, the little money we have, but it's also like, okay, this is the producer talking, you tell the director what is not possible. And I go, it's not my task, it's your task. You accepted this budget, so you tell him what is. But they stay like, no, because you know the details, so you tell him. And indeed, it comes to this, that the last movie I did, finished in June, I had to tell the director, okay, this is a 17th century movie, but you cannot make shots indifferently about shoes, because I don't have money to put everybody in the right shoes. Then the same thing with A, B, C, not from this side, please. You know, so you're actually, as a costume designer, out of despair, co-directing a little bit. And this is how we make our movies. We make, for that reason, very, very little period movies. Actually, I do most of them for the last 20 years, 30 years. So we try to keep it to nowadays stories, so at least we can go to the second-hand shops and find something. And it is at least what you have, which is on the positive side, who stays in this field, the ones who really, really love it, who really want to tell a story to as much people as they can. And that is also which moves me very much, that we are sort of the last standing ones who try from another world almost to keep this up. And I see this with more small countries, not with all, because Denmark is as small as us, and they have a completely different approach, and with success. But some of the small countries are in the same state. We do this for love, and we therefore also, again, on the other side, you can imagine what you want, because it's not about making money anymore. It's only the possibility to tell the story. So do it with every means. And it meant that the 17th century costumes were made out of curtains from the thrift shops. And that was wonderful. That was really, really wonderful. And but if this goes on, then it will be hard to teach our young people the feel, our craft, actually, because it became so small. And I am really worried about all of this, because young people don't see only this and think this is the normality, while reaching for the stars is what we try to do, you know, in any kind of budget. And it's sad. It makes me love our people in the field very much. And also, yeah, where are we going? Where are we going? I don't know. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Ya no sé, ya estoy perdida.
Vale. Pues ya por ir cerrando, chicos, porque tenemos que ir terminando, lo que sí que os pediría a todos, si pudierais darnos al hilo de esta conversación, un consejo cada uno cortito para esta gente que está aquí, la gente que nos está viendo desde casa, gente que se dedica al vestuario, que viene con tanta fuerza y con ilusión, porque el panorama es regulero, pero creo que todos estamos aquí porque amamos el trabajo que hacemos, y aunque haya muchas cosas que nos duelen, nos molestan y haya que pelear cada día, nos sigue llenando, ¿no? Entonces, ¿qué consejo daríais a esta gente que empieza ya para terminar? Un tip, un algo para que se les quede ahí en el corazoncito.
I would say, can I? Yeah. I would tell to everybody that our job, it's an amazing job. We are lucky to do it. And the most important thing is even if we, I mean, when you start working, you will see, or probably you work already, you know that there are so many difficulties to afford and to meet, to resolve. But I think the most important thing is to believe in our passion. We love this job, and we have to find a way how to do it in the better way. Sometimes thinking about the small, I mean, I've done small film, sometimes for nothing, for friend, just because I loved the script. So I did it. And I think that it's important that when you start working, you have to believe in what you're doing. And you will find always, I mean, I found always a way, even for the small budget film, you know, to stay there, to talk a lot with the producer, to the director. In the last one that I finished a month ago, they didn't have so much money, but the movie was like a jewel with, you know, with new costume that I had the possibility to make. And it was, you know, to find always, for example, when you say the shoes, you cannot see the shoes. Yeah. But sometimes it's important to find a way and go to the director and to the producer. Listen, don't ask me 100 extras. Ask me just 50 that I can make them well. And many times they understood. So they understood, so they helped me. I said, okay, Carlo, let's cut the number of the extras so we save the money on the costume, but we will have, at the end, a result that will be wonderful anyway. So I think that we must believe in our job, and especially we must put all our passion on it. And that it's the good way to work.
True.
Yeah?
True. Next. Yeah, I think I totally agree. It's like talking with my kids. I have two sons. So one is 17, the other is 15. So now all the young kids want to be rich. It's like the capitalism. Everybody wants. And I say, no. Don't think about it. You have to wake up every day and think that you're going to work all day and maybe in a long period of your life. So think about something that make you happy. Like it's to going to work, not make you like, damn, I have to wake up and go to work. No, you have to wake up and really feel like I'm going to do this. Like it's amazing. I'm doing this. Wow. So I think, I don't know, maybe it's, I see this new generation, like my kids, that they want to be rich very fast. Like this is, it will be like a day that you just get sad about it. So what is important, it's that you are always very happy. It's that even if, when I'm not doing anything, if some movie appears and they don't have a big budget, if I like the script and I want to do it, I do it. I've done costumes in the middle of the street, cutting and sewing it. So, and it makes me happy to be working, because it's wonderful when because it's not only the money. It's like we need money to do things. You cannot do omelets without the eggs, so it's quite difficult. But maybe sometimes you can borrow things from people and whatever. It happens that you don't have budget, but you have friends, you have people that you know. Maybe your warehouse, it's full of stuff that you have it and you can borrow. I don't know. Sometimes it's quite, and if it's a movie about today, it's even quite easier because there are so much clothes everywhere. I just came from São Tomé. I was doing a film there. It was a lot of people just selling secondhand clothes, and it was a film about today. So you don't. Sometimes it's true. We don't. It depends of the movies, of course, but you have to have a little, maybe something to help you to do it. But it always depends what is your project and stuff. But yeah, when you love something, just do it, and good things will happen for sure, I think.
Linda, un consejo?
Sorry. Do you have a tip on this matter?
Okay, poverty stimulates creativity. Unless you're completely starving, then you have no energy for anything anymore. But before that, it does. And those who like the challenge will certainly take it. And for the young people, I would say, if you're interested, try it. Report to somebody who does do costumes, and, come. I feel my crew always like my family. We don't do it to get very rich, so we do it because we love it. And because we love it, we are family. And I do crazy things, like I cook for them in pre-production. Because if you have to work 12 hours, the good meal in the middle is so important, and it binds the people. So, and also, I keep them healthy. That's good too. Otherwise they go and eat junk food, and that's even terrible. So you do all these things which are not costume per se, but they add to the end result. It will be more beautiful. It will be more specific, more special, more with soul, basically. That's what I say. And it's lovely to work in costumes if you love the costumes, if you love the material, if you love colors. And it's if there are enough people, which in Holland is also a question. There are quite a number of young people who haven't heard about these stories that we worked before, like, okay, don't do 100, do 50. No, now it's like, don't do 5, do 0 in our country. And so they're not especially shocked or especially interested, so they go into it in another way. And the Film Academy in Holland, in Amsterdam, is also not helping, because they are sort of telling them what to expect in the big wide world, which is a great career and a beautiful budget, and say no to everything that's below your level, or etc. It doesn't help, because that's not our real world, basically. And so I've taught for quite a number of years also at the Film Academy, and I said, okay, I do this, but I also have a movie going. So come tonight. We're starting at 12 o'clock in the night. Come. No, but then tomorrow I have to get up early. Okay, then all right. But those who want to come, who are really interested, come and join. And there's always a place for you. You can always add, and it worked basically really well. There's always, from every year, there's people who hung around and are now, you know, taking their own steps in the right direction, and that's lovely to see. Yeah, so the fire is not completely dead, absolutely not.
Not yet. Jenny?
Okay, I'm going to be short. Everyone said lovely things about loving the job, which I've also said. I would say, number one, learn everything you can, every skill within the department, from organising, from dressing, from sewing, cutting, dyeing, printing, everything, because you may find an area you really enjoy. I would also say develop your people skills. It's really noticeable. If you love your crew and you're nice to them, they will do much better work for you. It's kind of basic, you know, then you look better. It's not rocket science. And my other thing I learnt from my wonderful friend Stephen is to approach everything in bite-sized chunks. It's so easy to get overwhelmed. But if you go into bite-sized chunks and lists, you'll be fine. And good luck to anyone who wants to be a costume designer. We're all enjoying it.
Pues tenemos que acabar. Esperamos que haya sido fructífero. Yo creo que sí, mucho. Nos vamos con muchas reflexiones en la cabeza. Os agradecemos mucho vuestra presencia y a los invitados, que tendrán que ir a prepararse para la gala de los premios Yvonne Blake. Les deseamos mucha suerte a los nominados, mucha mierda, como se dice en España, break a leg en inglés. Esperamos que hayáis disfrutado de esto y que disfrutéis de la gala que está por venir y celebremos todos juntos el arte del vestuario. Gracias también a la Academia de Cine por acogernos y a la Asociación de Artistas Plásticos, Escénicos y Audiovisuales de España por organizar este evento y, por supuestísimo, a los premios Yvonne Blake por hacer posible este encuentro. Muchas gracias a todos.
Gracias a todos.